On December 5, 1945 at 2:10 p.m., 5 Navy Avenger bombers took off from Florida. This flight was called Flight 19. It was meant for a 3-hour routine training mission. There were 14 members in the flight, led by a flight leader who was an experienced pilot and a war veteran. These 5 planes flew eastward from Florida under normal weather conditions. However, about 2 hours into the flight, their squadron leader reported sudden compass problems. Their compasses started malfunctioning, leaving them disoriented. They pulled out their backup compass, but even that failed. They had no idea about their actual position. They radioed other pilots in the flight for help, but even they experienced instrument malfunctions. The weather worsened and darkness fell. The final radio transmission from Taylor came around 7:04 p.m. After that, all 5 planes disappeared without a trace. To this day, we don't know where they are or what happened to them. After Flight 19 went missing, a search and rescue mission with 13 people aboard a Marine aircraft took off. Their mission was to find Flight 19, but they also disappeared. This sparked one of the largest search operations in history, but no wreckage or bodies were found, not a single trace. The location where these planes disappeared is now known as the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is a very mysterious part of the ocean, where more than 100 planes and ships have gone missing without a trace. It's a vast area, stretching from Florida to Puerto Rico and up to Bermuda, forming a triangular shape. The Bermuda Triangle's mysteries are more than 500 years old. Over the centuries, many names were given to this place: the Graveyard of the Atlantic, the Sea of Doom, and the Sargasso Graveyard. In the 19th century, the name Bermuda Triangle was first used in 1964 by Vincent Gaddis. He wrote an article in a magazine titled The Deadly Bermuda Triangle, and this was the first time the term Bermuda Triangle was used. In this article, he mentioned several disappearances that had occurred in the Bermuda Triangle over the previous decades. He tried to link them and attempted to create a mystery, suggesting that there was something very strange in this area of the ocean that caused so many planes and ships to disappear. Although he did not provide any explanation in the article as to why this happened, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle became the most popular mystery of its time. It became so popular that many books were written about it, several films were made, and even some songs were written about it. Speaking of other events in the Bermuda Triangle, there was another terrifying incident in 1918 involving the USS Cyclops. It was a very important asset for the US Navy, especially during World War I, when it was used to transport troops and for cold transportation. It was one of the Navy's largest and fastest ships at the time. On March 4, 1918, with 306 people on board, the USS Cyclops set sail from a city near Washington called West Indies, Baltimore. It was headed to Brazil, and besides people, the ship also carried 11,000 tons of manganese. This journey normally takes about 9 days, and the ship sailed safely. The weather was clear and everything seemed fine until they received a message from the ship on March 10th, indicating a problem with the engine. But this message was the last. The ship disappeared suddenly, and everything aboard it vanished without a trace. If this event sounds mysterious to you, then the story of the Allen Austin is even more terrifying. In 1881, the Allen Austin, a 210-foot-long ship, was sailing from London to New York. Along the way, the Allen Austin saw an unknown ship. An unidentified ship appeared completely normal from the outside, but there was no sign of any human presence inside. Not a single soul, no crew, nothing. They waited for 2 days, hoping to see someone, but no response came. After 2 days, when no one came, the captain decided to send some crew members aboard the unknown ship. He put some of his crew members on this new ship and sent both ships forward together. For the first 2 days, both ships moved forward smoothly, but then a storm hit. The paths of both ships separated and one of them disappeared. The unfamiliar ship vanished after the storm subsided. Captain Allen Austin tried to locate the ship, and from afar, he spotted it through his spyglass. As they approached, it became apparent that there was no sign of human life aboard the ship. The crew members who had been transferred from their ship to this one were now suddenly missing. Where did they go? What happened to them? It was unclear, but the ship was intact and safe. Captain Allen Austin tried again to bring the unfamiliar ship along with them and sent some new crew members to operate it. However, a few days later, when a new storm hit, the story repeated. When Captain Allen Austin's ship returned, the ship owner was so startled after hearing the story that he decided to sell the ship. A German company took possession of the ship, adding to the mystery. It's a fascinating, legendary story, but unfortunately, it's probably just a story. Verifying such an old event is impossible, and although historical stories are often popular and widely circulated, verifying them is often impossible. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle had inspired many theories, some blaming aliens for abducting these ships and planes, while others suggested that there might be a huge monster under the sea that devoured these things. These theories are weird and wonderful, but let's focus on the theories that sound a bit more scientific. Let's discuss the basis of magnetism. When you look at the direction of north with a compass, it points towards the magnetic North Pole, but the actual North Pole is slightly different. It's called the geographic North Pole. You can see in this photo the difference between the geographic North Pole and the magnetic North Pole. But there are some areas on Earth where if you use a compass, you'll see the magnetic North Pole and the geographic North Pole exactly match. One of them is called the agonic lines. The agonic lines change over time, but for the last 200 to 300 years, it remained near the area of the Bermuda Triangle. This situation can lead to confusion for pilots and sailors, making it difficult to orient themselves correctly, ultimately resulting in being lost at sea. Another notable aspect of this region is that in certain areas, the water within the Bermuda Triangle is very shallow. If you look at it on a satellite map, you will see the deep sea around it appears in dark blue color, and the area near Bahamas and Caribbean islands looks very turquoise. It is said that many ships that used to come here in the old days stuck in the hidden shoals present in the shallow water area. The third special thing is the hurricane alley in this area. So hurricanes and water spouts occur more frequently in this area. The fourth explanation given for this area is about methane hydrates. There are some areas and seas where large fields of methane hydrates are found. Scientists in Australia conducted some laboratory experiments and found that when there are bubbles of methane in water, the density of the water decreases more than normal. And when the density decreases, objects, like a ship's buoyancy, won't be maintained, causing the ship to sink. This is a very interesting explanation, but there is no direct evidence yet regarding any exact incident occurring due to methane-related reasons. The fifth explanation is the most important explanation because it's related to human psychology. It's called the Bader-Meinhof effect, or the frequency illusion. The frequency illusion is a psychological effect where when we start noticing things more, we tend to see those things more around us. Remember when someone in your family bought a new car? After buying it, you must have always noticed that car more whenever you went out on the roads. In reality, the frequency of seeing the car on the roads didn't change. It's just that because you bought that car, you started noticing it more. The same thing happens in the Bermuda Triangle. Though some big ships and planes disappeared inside the Bermuda Triangle, but if you notice, you'll find many ships and planes disappearing in many areas around the world. A journalist, Larry Kush, who wrote a book on the Bermuda Triangle, also came out with the same solution. He said that in the beginning, there were many such events that actually happened, but as time went on, some people started creating their own stories. The mystery got magnified here, and some stories were just nonsense. They were never real. The story I told you about Alan Austin, it is just one such story. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of US says that there is no proof that the ships and planes that disappear in the Bermuda Triangle are seen more frequently than in any other area of the ocean. Even the United States Coast Guard doesn't recognize the existence of the Bermuda Triangle as an area of specific hazard. The area with its heavy traffic account for some of the mysteries. According to the studies conducted by WWF in 2013, the Bermuda Triangle area did not make it to the world's top 10 most dangerous waters. So these mysterious disappearances have nothing to do with the Bermuda Triangle. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you.